When people talk about the greatest Mortal Kombat games, the conversation usually starts with games like Mortal Kombat 2 and then MK9, maybe Mortal Kombat Deception, Shaolin Monks, or even MKX. But there's one game that often gets overlooked, and that's Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. And honestly, I think that's a big mistake because Deadly Alliance didn't just introduce a new era, it completely changed what Mortal Kombat could be. It took one of the biggest risks in the franchise's history, and years later, you could still see the fingerprints all over Mortal Kombat. It still had a legacy and influence up until today. So today I want to take a look back at the legacy of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, not just what it did when it released, but what it means to the franchise today. But if you guys don't know me by now, I'm Mr. Frosty Flames, but you can call me Mike. We do anything gaming news, reviews, playthroughs, etc., and we do it in a chill way with no over editing BS. So if you enjoy that style of content, be sure to hit that sub button and join the Mr. Frosty Flames Legion. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So to start off, I want to say that Deadly Alliance arrived at the perfect time because to understand Deadly Alliance's legacy, you have to remember where Mortal Kombat was. At this point, the arcade era was over, MK4 was and the arcade games were just changing, fighting games as a whole were changing. 3D fighters like Tekken and Soul Calibur were growing. Mortal Kombat couldn't survive by making another version of MK3 forever and ever and ever. It needed something different, especially with the emerging PS2, and that's what exactly Deadly Alliance delivered. Instead of playing it safe, Midway hit that reset button. Everything sort of felt new. You had new mechanics, new characters, new story, new presentation, and looking back, that was very, very risky, incredibly risky. But without that risk, I honestly don't know if Mortal Kombat would still be around today. It had the courage to change, and that's one thing I respect a lot about Deadly Alliance, is that it wasn't afraid to upset fans. You had the new 3 fighting styles per character, you had a weapon stance, you had new 3D era movement, a completely redesigned interface, even the roster felt different. You had a bunch of new characters, and whether you liked them or didn't like them, I mean, it was up to your personal opinion, but it was still different. Some classic characters were gone and new faces took their place. Today, that decision is still very controversial, but I think that's exactly why this game matters. It wasn't trying to recreate the past, it was trying to build a future, a new Mortal Kombat future, and whether every decision worked or not, you have to respect how committed it was evolving the series. They just went in and tried something new, balls to the walls, and we're gonna throw away some classic characters, we're just gonna kill off Liu Kang in the beginning. And honestly, that might be Deadly Alliance's greatest contribution, because for years Liu Kang has always won. He was the main character of Mortal Kombat. The heroes always found a way. Then the Deadly Alliance did something almost unthinkable. In the opening cutscene, it killed Liu Kang right at the beginning. That moment immediately told players, okay, this is a different Mortal Kombat than what you're used to. Suddenly, the villains actually felt dangerous again. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi weren't just obstacles anymore, they actually succeeded. And even up until today, it's still one of the boldest story decisions in the franchise's history. MK1's Deadly Alliance doesn't have anything against MK Deadly Alliance's Deadly Alliance, because MK1's Deadly Alliance didn't do jack shit compared to this Deadly Alliance. This Deadly Alliance was making goals and they were doing it. They were killing main characters. Or the new Deadly Alliance did nothing. But to shy away from the story, I also want to talk about the crypt, because that changed rewards in Mortal Kombat forever. Because if there's one feature that still gets praised today, it's the crypt. Before Deadly Alliance, unlockables were much simpler. Deadly Alliance turned them into an experience. Every fight you earned a currency called coins, and you would use them in the crypt to open these coffins. And each coffin held a surprise, whether that was a costume, a concept art, a character, music, videos, secrets. You never knew what was waiting inside the coffin, and it made progression exciting. And to be honest, modern Mortal Kombat still hasn't recreated that same feeling. MK11 expanded upon it to the heavens. It was amazing. The crypt was actually like semi-open world. You would solve puzzles, swing your hammer around, just explore, Shang Tsung's island. But then I don't know why in MK1 they just threw it all away. Deadly Alliance set up something amazing for the franchise's future. MK11 perfected it, and then MK1 just threw it out of the door. It's a shame and it's criminal. It also created the foundation for Deception. When people praise perhaps one of the best, or in my opinion the best Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat Deception, they're usually praising things like Conquest Mode, Puzzle Combat, Chess Combat, Mortal Kombat Deception's atmosphere as a whole, the roster, and rightfully so. But here's something we sometimes forget. None of that exists without Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance built that foundation. It proved that players were willing to accept a different kind of Mortal Kombat, and without it, I don't think Midway would have been confident enough to make Deception as ambitious as it was. Sometimes the game that changes everything isn't the one that people remember the most. It's the one that made the next masterpiece possible, and that basically encapsulates the story of Deadly Alliance going into Deception. And then another thing is, when I played it again for this channel throughout my videos, and I'm playing it now for you guys for this video, I feel like it aged better than people expected. I like it better than Armageddon. When Deadly Alliance first released, it had plenty of critics. Some fans missed the arcade gameplay, others weren't sold on the new characters, some didn't like the fighting styles, but look at the conversation today. People constantly ask for characters like Li Mei, Mavado, Kenshi, Bo Raicho, Nitara, Frost. Even characters like Su Hao, they want them to reinvent them and bring them back. And even game modes like the Crypt and even the darker tone of Deadly Alliance, these all get praised from time to time. But look at this. They all debuted in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. So people hated these things back in the past, but now they love them. Time has been very kind to this game, not because it suddenly became perfect, but because players started appreciating what it was trying to accomplish. So when you get to the core of my video, what is Deadly Alliance's legacy? Its real legacy. I don't think it's just, you know, the first 3D era game, the game that changed Mortal Kombat. I think that's too simple. Its real legacy is courage. It had the courage to reinvent Mortal Kombat. It had the courage to kill its main hero. It had the courage to introduce dozens of new ideas. Most of them failed, but some succeeded, but it never felt afraid. And honestly, that's something I think modern Mortal Kombat could learn from a lot. That not every experiment has to work, but every experimentation is how franchises grow. Deadly Alliance understood that. And I know when you compare it to today, I could say, okay, Invasion sucks, you know, I don't like Invasions at all, but maybe you could learn something from Deadly Alliance, because I think that Invasions is a good concept, but I think it's a redesign away from it becoming a major game mode. Like, I would love a tabletop RPG, Mortal Kombat style, where you're moving pieces on a board. That sounds good. It sounds amazing, where you're exploring the different worlds, leveling up, collecting gear for your character. I love that. However, I feel like the execution for Invasions wasn't there, but if you could take a piece out of Deadly Alliance's book and maybe just take Invasions and improve upon it, fix it, maybe for the next Mortal Kombat game. I wouldn't blame them if they just scrapped it and brought something back like Conquest Mode. I would love that too. But say if they were gonna return Invasions mode, if they were gonna bring that back, they could change it for the better. Take a piece out of Deadly Alliance's book and just have that as a start and then make something good out of it. But looking back, Deadly Alliance may not be remembered as the most polished Mortal Kombat game or even the most popular, but I think it deserves to be remembered as the most important Mortal Kombat game, because without Deadly Alliance, there is no Deception, there's no Armageddon, and without that, maybe even no modern Mortal Kombat at all. Its greatest legacy wasn't simply starting a new era, it was proving that Mortal Kombat could survive by becoming something different, and 20 years later, I think that's exactly why people appreciate it now more than ever. Now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is Deadly Alliance's greatest legacy? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'm starting a new series, The Legacy of, where I just break down a certain game. I'm starting with Mortal Kombat games because I know them the best, but let me know what other games I should do in the comments, where I just break down a game and see the legacy, the impact it made, how it influenced future entries in the franchise or future games. And this one I'm talking about Deadly Alliance. Let me know what other Mortal Kombat game I should do, or what other game period I should do. Let me know in the comments down below. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to join the Mr. Frosty Flames Legion. Thank you guys for watching. Mr. Frosty Flames out. Yeah!